Hi everybody, welcome back. I hope you're all doing well. So, the passport bros are being shown Pepe. I heard a story this morning, which I'm going to share with you shortly. But to those of you who don't know who a passport bro is, it's essentially a man from the West who goes to other countries in search of traditional submissive women because they claim that the women in the West are not submissive, they are masculine, they don't cooperate with them, they don't humble themselves, and the list is endless. So they travel to countries like Thailand, Kenya, Colombia to look for such submissive women, right? And sometimes they end up bringing them back to the West. And when they do, things like this happen. Let's get into it.
Yeah, we're in Chinatown in Kilimani, and I'm here with a very, very interesting couple. They have a channel called US Meets Kenya. I'm gonna allow them to introduce themselves, starting with the lady first.
Hey guys, I'm Faith from Kenya.
And I'm Keith from USA.
Yeah, and this is our baby. She's called Serene.
Yeah, she's adorable. Okay, so where are you from in the States?
So I'm originally from Michigan, from Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, you're from the D. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We out here.
I died every day waiting for you, darling. Don't be afraid.
What a confidence booster. Look at that highlight. Fling, fling, fling. Aibo.
Omara.
I brought my wife to the US and she left me in less than 1 year. Till 4 years now, I've not seen my wife. It shock you? Okay, listen to this story. A man went to Nigeria in 2016, married his wife, and since that day he has been traveling to Nigeria, and he traveled and he started doing papers, arranging the documents. And in 2021, he brought the wife to America. In less than 1 year, the wife disappeared till today. 4 years now, the man has not seen his wife. This has been the stories we hear every day. Many men abroad, they want to marry now, but they are afraid to marry because of all this kind of story. Marriage has become transactional. Some people want to use you to climb the ladder of success. Okay, I have a question. You know that you don't love somebody. You agree to marry the person, and the person will do everything to bring you abroad. You dump the person. Okay, look at what happened now. This man, because they are looking for a child, they have not had a child, so they went to the hospital, and they discovered that this lady has done several abortions. Okay? And this is causing infertility. So they need extra grace for them to have a baby. And after this discovery, this lady disappeared. Now, what is causing this? See, if you live abroad, marry wife where you are. Marry where you are, because the loss is too much. You have financial loss, you have time loss, you have emotional loss. This man is 50 years now. He doesn't have a child. And he married because he wants to create his own family. But look at what is going on now. The lady left since 4 years. She has never seen her. And the man is bittered because he spent money, he spent his emotion, he spent everything to bring her. Now, I want to tell you something. There are so many of our young girls, they have traveled to Libya, they have traveled to Dubai, they have traveled to Oman. They have been sleeping with about 50 men a day. And now, 30-something years, they retired and came back home and become holy wedge. And you that is abroad, you go and marry them. Now look at, they have discovered that this lady have done several abortions. So please, is it not better you marry where you are? Be careful who you marry. Who you marry determines whether you go forward or you go backward. Don't just marry for infatuations. Don't marry for beauty. Look at what happened to this man now. Learn from this man. Else, you're going to learn the hard way. Now, this man is learning the hard way. He's teaching time, says 9. He who fails to plan, plans to fail. Because I will never come back. Oh, no. It's
Never, ever, ever build a woman, my brothers. And I'm going to tell you why. Now, back in the days, I was working outside London, yeah? So it would have been Maidenhead. So it's basically concierge. But it was like a team of us, and I was the youngest of the group, yeah? So at this age, I never used to respect money. It was during COVID, so everyone's indoors. I was making like 2 bags a month, innit? So I was just blowing my money on smoking loud, food, clothes, dates, just foolishness. And not even proper dates, just going to girls' yards and ordering food, yeah? So cool. There was an old Nigerian man I used to work with called Yusuf. And I used to call him Mr. Yusuf out of respect, innit? So anyways, when I say this guy was a worker, so I used to work the 12-hour shifts, but he was working like 24 hours, back to back, overtime, all the shifts. And I used to think to myself, why does this guy work so much? And he always used to say to me, save your money, get a house. I said, no, I ain't got time for that. Bro, these times here, I had a girl in Maidenhead, and she had her own yard. So can you imagine the movie I'm living? I used to go see her during my lunch breaks. Brother, I'm living my movie. I ain't got time to save my money. That's my mentality. Cool. So anyways, one day I stopped seeing Mr. Yusuf. And when I say this guy used to work hard, bro, to the point I used to say to him, who is this for? What is all of this for? And he said, oh, it's for my family. It's for my family. So I said, you know what? Cool. That makes a lot of sense. So one day, I never saw Mr. Yusuf again. And I said to the others, yo, what happened to Mr. Yusuf? They just shook their head. So then they told me the story of what happened to Mr. Yusuf and why he's no longer working, because that wasn't like him to stop working. And guess what? He brought a girl from Nigeria, yeah? Young girl. And he brought her to to England, to study law. So he brought her to England, to London, to study law, and he's paying for all her uni fees. So while he's paying for all her uni fees, yeah, she's now graduated. So you see, when she graduated, she said to Mr. Yusuf, yeah, I'm a lawyer now. You're not on my level. She told Mr. Yusuf, you're not on my level. Do you understand? Do you know how peak that is for a man to hear after he's paid your uni fees, after he's sponsored you for the entirety of your degree? Mr. Yusuf went mad. They told me he's an alcoholic now. He's got a bowl in his house. He's struggling to pay rent. He might lose the house. They said he's got a bowl in his house and he pours different kind of liquor in there. So vodka, Courvoisier, Henny, rum, all into the bowl. And he mixes it and then he drinks it like soup. Do you know how gone you have to be to drink alcohol like soup? Different kinds of alcohol. My prayers are with Mr. Yusuf. But let this be a lesson to all of you. Meet a woman where she's at. Don't ever build a woman. Never. Unless you want to get told you're no longer on my level. Never build a woman, my brothers. Meet her how she is, and the two of you build together. And you rise together, but don't elevate her. Because when she's on your level, she's going to find someone who's higher than you to elevate her even further. So let that be a lesson and learn from Mr. Yusuf. Like I always say, make civilian life cool again.
Yeah. Honestly, for me, I don't feel sorry for them because we know that most of the times, most of them start with women here, okay? They start with women here. I know there are some of them who don't have anything, like Shira 7 said. I'm going to play some of the clips soon. The money they make is not good enough. So when they go to Africa or they go to Colombia or the rest, they find that their money is longer, okay? Their money stretches. But when they are in the West, their money is short. So the kind of women they want do not want them because they can't provide. Because they believe that providing essentially gives you a submissive woman in return, which I don't know who fed them those lies. If you provide for a woman, automatically she becomes this humble, submissive woman and so on and so forth. Okay, to each his own. That is the mindset of most of these Western men who travel outside to look for submissive women. Now, the first story, they got married, they had a child, he brought her to America. She left him for a richer guy. Now, most of the people in the comments are saying she upgraded, which is most likely the case, because the thing is, in Kenya, his money is longer. Okay, so maybe he brought her back here and she realized that, things are not the way she thought it was going to be. Because the thing is, although it could be that these women that they are going after in Kenya, Colombia, and the rest are part of their long-term plan, they don't ask themselves if they are a part of those women's long-term plans, because they could be just a plan for the moment. Okay, you, the passport bros, you could be their plan for the moment. All right. So in as much as you are busy thinking, oh, I found the woman that I want finally, I'm in a place where I can provide this kind of life and I'm going to get that submission and respect that I so much obsessed with, crave or want, I could just be a temporal plan for these women. Do you remember when the famous or infamous Kevin Samuel said to that lady, are you your type's type? Exactly. Because what type do you think she wants?
Ladies in foreign countries, ma'am, when you see them passport bros leading through the crowd with their big bald heads and colorful ugly shirts, this is how they live in America. This is it. This is what they come home to after you feed them arroz con pollo. This is what they coming home to, okay?
I find it so crazy that nobody heard that story and thought, this grown man found a young, probably vulnerable girl in Nigeria who is looking for a better life and an education, which unfortunately Nigeria probably couldn't have provided her with, and he is exploiting her. He is paying her university fees and paying for her education. Do you think he's doing that innocently? Do you think he's doing that innocently? Do you think that older gentleman, if I can even call him a gentleman, do you think that older man is doing that expecting nothing in return? Do you think that he is housing her potentially with expecting nothing in return? Do you think that she doesn't come back from university knowing that there's an expectation placed upon her because he is funding her university fees? And do you think that if she had another option, she would allow that to be her life? Guys, switch on. She graduated from university. She got herself a degree. She's on her way to become a qualified lawyer. She has a way out. She doesn't need to now deal with a man exploiting her, likely for her body. Mind you, we said young girl. She would have started university at the age of 18. Maybe a little bit earlier, because actually I know quite a few people who schooled in Nigeria who skipped a year, if that makes sense. So, but let's just assume she started university at the age of 18 and not 17, yeah? Because I'm not going to go put allegations on nobody's head. So he brought her here at the age of 18, put her through school. You guys think that he did that not expecting anything from her, okay? And as soon as she was qualified, she left. She said, I'm going to make my own way now. And everyone's takeaway is, this is why you don't do anything for a woman. Now, before I get back to the victim situation, I just want to say that if you function on a transactional plane as a man, you should not and cannot be shocked when that babe finds a way out, finds better for herself, finds something that is lower maintenance, as in she doesn't have to tolerate and deal with you now to move through life, or she finds somebody else who can give her a better standard of living. Because the transactional nature of that relationship was good for you as well. It was good for you as well. Like, it's very likely that he was benefiting. Like I said, I'm not going to put allegations on anybody's head, but the fact that nobody heard that story and thought, why would he bring a young girl from Nigeria over just and pay for her school fees? Do you know how common it is for those men to do that? It's very, very normal. And once again, in the story time, the guy was saying that this was an older gentleman. Out of respect, he was calling him Mr. Insert name here. So it is very fair to believe that this man was at least middle-aged. At least middle-aged. A woman a girl he has no relation to. He decided to put her through school, and you think that he has not made it very clear that she is going to have to find a way to pay for that. But anyway, as I was saying, it's actually very terrifying to me that people can identify that she's a victim in the situation or potential victim in the situation, right? No, she's a victim in the situation. She is 8. She started with this man. She met this man either before she was 18 or at the age of 18, right? As she's applying for university in the UK. It's crazy to me, literally crazy to me, to think that he was not in a position of power over here. And it's very interesting because I think that we are so far removed from what happens back home, and we think we are so much closer to Nigerians at home than we are. We're not. We are way closer to white Brits than we are to people who live in Nigeria. Real Nigerians living in Nigeria. I'm not talking about international students that have been here most of their lives and went there for a couple years of boarding school. No. Real Nigerians who have to deal with the hardships of Nigeria every single day. You guys think, or like, I'm talking about in Africa in general, but as a Nigerian, like, you guys think you're so similar to them because you know 1-2 Afrobeat song. You know nothing about the realities. A lot of people in Nigeria are suffering. A lot of people in Nigeria are suffering. A lot of people in Nigeria, they will do anything to make ends meet, to make life better for themselves. And I know we look around in the UK and we are not in the best of times, and our government is not the best, and there are things that need to be done. But ultimately, that man's warehouse job, he's seeing more money than a lot of Nigerians will ever see in their lifetime. So, and I'm not saying that doesn't mean that he, doesn't maybe deserve better for himself. I'm not saying that if he wants more for himself, they should be able to have that. Do you know what I'm saying? But I know people will sit here and be like, oh, but that he was given all he had, and he didn't even have much. He had more than that girl had back in Nigeria, and he knew that. He was very aware of that, and he used that. At the end of the day, he was in a position of power, right, over this girl, and he did not offer her, like, I'm sorry, I just refuse to believe that that man gave her a place to stay or paid for her university fees and her maintenance, etc., 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 and got nothing in return. Come on, guys, come on. I find it very hard to believe that if he had been innocently supporting this girl through university, she would have been like, okay, I'm a qualified lawyer now, I'm never speaking to you again, I don't want anything to do with you. Doesn't even sound like the typical Nigerian woman at all. She would feel indebted to him, right? But all that man did is take her from one situation, one negative situation, one tough situation, and put her into one where she might have more opportunities, but she's still not necessarily free. Like, and the fact that a lot of men couldn't see that, guys, is cause for concern. And this is why I say that it's very, very important to have conversations like this with the men that you guys date and in your circles, because a lot of men would not identify that. Right, it's a bit weird though that he flew a girl out, brought her to the UK, right, a young woman out, and then like he just had her living with him, or like what was the situation? Because if you think that man is putting in hours to get nothing from her, like, you're all delusional. To be honest with you, you're all crazy. But yeah, I just wanted to come and talk about that because it kind of breaks my heart that that the takeaway was like, oh, that she was using him, because I highly doubt that was a free meal.
I sent for my wife to America. I sent her to school. Now she's making more money than me, and she left me. Why would she leave you when that marriage was built on lies? Listen, a marriage built on lies doesn't last. You get to the point now. What did you tell this girl when you met her back home? You told her you were rich. You live in a big mansion back home. You drive a big car. Now she came to America. The reality is different. Listen, every human being has a purpose. When you met this girl, you meet her purpose. That's why she decided to marry you. Now she's in America. The reality is different. Bro, you are no longer her purpose. You are no longer the picture she pictured in her head. Because you are no longer the picture she pictured, she's not going to feature in your future. You get to the point now. Some of you lie too much. Jesus. You're a gate man in America. But when you go home to go and look for wife, you tell this innocent woman that you're a general manager. GM, gate man, GM, general manager, GM. They're all the same GM. Bro, be specific. If you're a gate man, let her know you're a gate man. Let her decide if she wants to marry you. Fine. Or if she doesn't want to marry you, let her stay. Simple as ABCD. You are the one creating unnecessary problem for yourself. Because the lie you lie today, when the lie will come back to you, bro, it will hit you bad.
Now, for the second story, when it comes to the Nigerian or African passport bros, as I would like to call them, although some people believe they are not passport bros because they are going back home to marry women from their country. I believe they are passport bros because most of the times they come to Africa with a story. They will tell you, they own their homes, pretending that their monies are long when their money is very, very short. Okay. And on the flip side, most of them start relationships with other women. They end up with the whitey women, some black women, build something with them. And when they can stand on their 2 feet, right? They leave those women because they want this type of respect. I don't know why they are so obsessed with that. I don't get it. But they want this respect. They want a woman who will not talk, who will not do anything, who will just be bossing them and doing whatever they want them to do. Sometimes for some of them, because they are older, they wasted all their years here doing whatever, right? They get older and then in their mind, they'll go back to look for a younger version to start a family with because their playing days are over. Right now, they want to settle down. And then they get the shocks of their lives that most of these women, their eyes tear well. They know what is going on. All right, they are not sleeping. They are not as submissive as they thought they were. They bring them here and they also have other plans because when you are in Nigeria, and you are driving the flashy cars and you are doing all those things. And then you bring her here and she has to come and live in a 1-bedroom. And on top of that, you decide to abuse them. Some of the stories that we hear here, most of the times when they bring them here, they are very abusive. Okay, they are very physically abusive, financially abusive, emotionally abusive. And he was saying something about they aborting and so on and so forth. No, sometimes it's not abortions. Sometimes it's because you have a lower sperm count. All right, from all the playing that you've been playing, now that you are older, you don't want to play anymore. You want someone to come and take care of you. You go back there to go and bring these women here to come take care of you. And they quickly realize that you can't even satisfy them. You can't pleasure them. You can't do anything. Okay. And you can't even give them the child that they also want. So if that's the case, they're going to leave you. Because what's the point? And as for the last story, he's talking about how, she said she was a lawyer and she's leaving. Yeah. What do you expect her to do? Stay with you? No, she's young. She's young, okay? And she wants someone who she will match with. So when these women find the way to get out, they are out. Sometimes it's not a plan that they are going to come here to leave you, but sometimes it's just the abuse, okay? They take them through it and they always remind them of who they were when they met them. Oh, you didn't have nothing. You are from this village. You are nobody. If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be X, Y, and Z. And most of these women get tired of it, because they get that ego, that power thing that they're still looking for, the one that they've presented or packaged as a submission, that is not submission. Most of the times they just want a servant and a master kind of relationship. That's what they want. Okay, so when they bring them here, when they go back to the Colombias and the Thailands and the other places and they kind of get that from them, right? They bring them back here and they expect the same treatment when they can't fully provide for them. Number one. All right. These women still have to go out there and work. And even if they can provide for them, they are looking, they are learning, they are realizing that it shouldn't be this way. Why am I allowing this person to do these things or these things to me? Right? When I can get out. So, hey, at the end of the day is going to end. And if you don't learn, you'll find out the hard way. And I'm so proud of these young women for teaching them the lessons that they refuse to learn. Okay? That women are people too. And in as much as you want the submission, the woman who is going to step on the ground for you to walk all over, ask yourself, will you do the same for her? No. And sometimes when you are busy using other women, ask yourself, what kind of woman am I going to end up with? Okay, because the stories, like I said, there's plenty stories of women who are being used in the West as stepping stones by men. You know, when they get where they want to go, that's when they'll start finding fault. Oh, she's this. Oh, she's not sexy enough. Oh, she's let herself go. Oh, she used to lie to me, and so on and so forth. Because he wants to leave her, right? And go after someone else who didn't know how he came up. Do you remember a few videos ago, there was this guy talking about why men leave the women they started with or built together with because those women do not respect them. They don't submit to them. They still treat them like they used to know them. Yeah. That's the same with most of these guys. Okay? They waste the time of these women, have children with them and so on and so forth. And when they are done, they want a younger version, fresh version, the one who is going to be in awe of them and be like, oh, daddy, thank you so much for the car. Thank you so much for this. You know, because my wife is not appreciative. Boss, she started with you. What appreciation again do you want? Just carry on and live your life. Find women exactly where you are because there are women everywhere. And when you do, respect them and treat them like your partners, your equals. Okay? And stop looking for this obsession with submission is going to end you somewhere you don't want to go. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, I'm going to leave it here and I'll see you again another one. Take care of yourselves and one another. Leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments. Bye.